my name is Professor Roger. I'm in the Anthropology department and I teach 3 courses at the moment. So one is Introduction to Anthropology. The second one is called Death and Dying in Society. The third one is Urban Anthropology that I'm teaching this semester. So in terms of social justice, they show up in different ways in all 3 of these courses. We can talk a little bit more about that later. But let's go around the room and introduce ourselves before we talk a little bit. So we'll start with Robert and Catherine, and then we'll come over here.
Hi, I'm Robert. I'm a junior here, and I'm an anthropology major.
My name's Catherine. I'm an alumni. I graduated last year with my bachelor's in forensic psych, and I minored in anthropology. I took Death and Dying with Professor Rogier.
Cool. And let's start from the back, and we'll come to the front. So you went. Okay.
I'm Bonnie, Kayla's mom.
Okay.
My name is Isari.
Okay, and your name? Okay. Senior in high school. And what are your favorite subjects in high school at the moment? English? English? Okay, and your favorite subjects are, or is? US history? Okay, so why do you think those are your favorite subjects, or that's your favorite subject? What is it about US history and what is it about English that you like so much that allows for you to do really, I'm assuming you're doing good in those classes, or you're passing those classes? Okay, so what about US history and what about English do you like?
I like writing. Like when I get to a topic and I
Okay, okay. And you?
I just find it really interesting.
US history, okay. And for the moms, are you happy with the subjects that they're taking, and are you happy with the way they're performing in class?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. And what is your dream for them in terms of like career? Do you have an idea of where you want them to go in terms of career?
She's got a couple ideas and she's narrowed it down. But for her, I just want her to get college experience. You know, whatever she does with it is up to her. So I just want her to be successful.
Okay, so no matter what she does?
Yeah,
yes.
No, she does well at whatever she does.
Okay. Well, okay, and what kind of career do you see your daughter going into? Would you like?
I don't know, it's this.
So she's trying to say that whatever I want to do, like she supports me.
She supports you? Okay, so the same thing, right? In terms of your parents, what would they say? So Catherine graduated from John Jay and is now going to graduate school. She just got accepted, and it's also her birthday today.
Oh,
yes. And Robert is a junior senior, and he's majoring in anthropology. They're 2 of our brightest majors, but they also have an interest in social justice as well, right? So how did anthropology allow you to see social justice? And also maybe how did anthropology help you get to the place that you are now in terms of like applying to grad school? So 1, 2, and then we can come back together, okay? Because when you think of anthropology, you don't often think of social justice, right? You think of like the forensics or policing or criminology, right? So we're going to talk about how anthropology allows for that, okay?
I think what makes, first thing, I think what makes anthropology so unique is that it's all about really diving into communities and getting to know the people in the communities and their stories and you know, what have they gone through. And I feel like with anthropology you can narrow it down in so many different ways. I feel like in the context of social justice you can really dive deep and kind of communicate with people about, you know, what is their idea of social justice, like what does that mean to them, what does that mean in their culture, where they come from their community, like where, you know, do you think social justice exists, and then we get to the topic of social justice, what is it, right? And then that can really mean so many things. It can mean like equality. Are we different? Are we similar? Are we the same? That concept is different for everyone.
Yeah.
You know, in so many different cultures. You know, in one culture, you know, social justice in terms of equality, that could be different. You know?
So what is it about, why are you, so can you share with them what you're getting your degree, what your interest in the grad school? So it is in food and da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah,
so,
I've already applied for a dual degree with LIU and NYU. So NYU would be a master's in food studies, and LIU would be a master's in library and information science. So,
and then now, how are these two things allowing you to see social justice? Because when you think of food science and library science, right, you don't think social justice, right? But then how are you able to put this together and to help your community?
I'm interested in looking at food quality across different communities. So for example, when I was here in John Jay, I took an urban anthropology course where we had to study our communities. And I decided to study like food differences. So I come from the Bronx, and so where I live in the South Bronx in Morrisania, you know, the food quality is not great. It's not that great. You know, you could walk into a supermarket and you could find some fruits and vegetables, but they're not that great. They're overpriced, you know, but then you can go to a more nicer part of the Bronx. And I noticed that the food quality there was much better. It was not as expensive, still expensive, but not as bad. And the quality of the food was better. There was so many different fruits and vegetables that I had never even heard of. I really had never even heard of. And so, you know, for me, I want to see, why do we have, you know, these differences, right? Why can't we all have, you know, the same quality of food? Because that contributes to our quality of life, right?
And the library part comes in?
Yeah, because then the library science, I think what's great is you have access to all this information, you know, so you need to learn how to access it, right? Where do you get this information from? You know, so, you know, I want to also use that as a way to, you know, bring food equity and equality into libraries in the community so that people can actually, you know, come in and be like, hey, you know, maybe we should like all get together and be like, hey, we want better, you know, food quality in our area. We don't want to eat Dunkin' Donuts 24/7, you know?
And the thing is, what I found out when Catherine was writing her autobiographical statement is that libraries used to have these programs, and then they're cut, right? So you think of a library as a place to go get books, but it's not. There are these programs that allow for students and young kids in the community to come in and to learn about eating habits, or what how to make your diet so you don't get diabetes and all these things that are like in communities that are poor or dark, whatever, right? So part of Catherine's goal is to work in policy to help implement these programs back again. So social justice looks different, and it's not always you have to be a lawyer, you have to be a police officer, you have to go into government necessarily to do these things. So the example here is that you have to figure out what works or what your community needs, and then go in and help out in that certain way. So you can be a US history major, an English major, and still do social justice, right? And Robert, how do you see social justice in terms of anthropology?
I think what anthropology did for me, more importantly, was really give me language when I was writing it better. So if you're interested in writing, as I am, my minor is actually in digital media and journalism. So you fine-tune those, you know, skills that you have already that are still raw. You can get them sharpened over time, you know. And if you really like writing, as it sounds like you do, if you get into one subject, you can just start riffing. You get the benefit of, you know, the newer terms, better language to use when you're writing, structure, form, and then within all that, you learn how to write, even subconsciously, I think, how to make something feel and sound as if it's in favor of social justice, as it should be, but in a way that isn't overwhelming, that's written intelligently, you know? And if you're a great writer, you couple those two skills together, you can put together whatever you like. You just need the knowledge. And if you have any, you know, familiar sense with things going around in your community that aren't right, well, that's just, you know, the perfect marriage. If you can confidently express yourself on paper as to what the problem is, examine it, write about it, in a way that's thought-provoking and also introduces the doorway for a solution, you know, you've gotten everything that you needed to out of this place. You know, and it doesn't mean that you have to write exclusively for the sake of social justice. While it would be great because you're going to John Jay, you would just get better at being a writer. And I've had that same experience here, where my hobby, while was writing and still is, I love it. I've had the benefit of professors that have told me, and if it wasn't good, they would have told me the same thing to get better. But I've had hobbies validated having come here. Like, this is actually pretty good. I had Professor Lessinger, before she left, had asked if she could submit something that I wrote to be published. Excuse me. It didn't shake out that way, but that's just something that you keep working towards. You know what I mean? So if you have the right professors around, if you're in the right institution and environment, this would be a great place for you. And social justice came about, I want to say, respectfully, kind of not secondary, but it's always important. You know, and you get the appreciation for it here, while also fine-tuning the skills that you want to hear at the same time, and the right people around to do that.
So when you think of social justice, what are the things that you may be interested in? So what are some causes that you are either involved in or you would like to get involved in? It can be anything. So moms are involved as well. You can answer the question too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So.
Well, we did a couple of things together actually. We're just, I'd like to be involved. She just signed up with the Red Cross this past year.
Okay.
American Red Cross. We're from New Jersey, but so that's something you're doing, and now I'm tying it into this social justice thing. You know, I feel like that's something that you heard me talk about social justice and community service, right? So, you know.
Because so you helped at the Red Cross, right? So what are the things that you did at the Red Cross? Did you give blood? Did you help with the food drive? Like, what did you guys do?
So with the Red Cross, we go to the veterans home. Once a month, we do activities with these veterans, like live there.
Yeah.
And they just like enjoy the time.
Yeah.
So it's the Service to Armed Forces Division.
Exactly. And the thing is, in terms of veterans, right, do you know that they are part of the population that is neglected and the PTSD? So social justice isn't, again, this is social justice because there is a problem and this is your way of helping by showing up to the community and giving your time. So again, you don't have to be a lawyer, a police officer, a judge to be involved, to do things in terms of social justice, right? As Catherine mentioned, being involved in community is being part of social justice. So then how do you take this experience with the Red Cross and then tie that into your studies to then make a career for yourself, right? So you basically are currently doing acts of social justice, right? But we don't always think of it like that. We call it community service, but it is a social justice initiative, right? In my Death and Dying class, we talk about the neglect of veterans, and one of the articles in here is about the high rates of suicide in veteran communities. Did you know that? Right? So imagine if somebody's having a bad day and you show up and say, hey, you're not alone. Do you see how you can automatically, without knowing it, stop somebody from trying to kill themselves? Right? That is social justice. Right? But we don't language it like that. Right? It's basically looking out for each other at the end of the day. Right? Do you do anything now in terms of like community involvement, or are you interested in doing anything like that?
Yeah, I'm in the Explorers program.
Oh, cool. Okay.
We do a lot of community service. Like we clean, like around. So I'm from Staten Island, so like we go where the ships are, and then we clean the places.
Okay. Do you all know what the Explorer is? Can you tell us what the Explorer? Okay. What is the Explorer? So can you just tell us what the Explorer is?
So I recently joined 2 months ago, but basically it's like for students that are interested in law enforcement, and they help you with like how do I explain it? With like your how do I say this? Basically, they train you. So they train you to be, if you want to be a cop. Anything.
In terms of that, yeah. So they give you skills.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I did something similar in high school. And it's funny how you don't think of the things that you do in high school, how to shape you. I did this thing called Young Leaders. And part of our task was to go and clean up the beach, right? And I did it because I loved it, and I did it because I loved the beach, and I wanted to see the beach clean. But looking back now, at the time, I didn't think I was going to do a career. It wasn't for my career, it was because I wanted to do that. But it's funny how they shape your life, and then these things stay with you. So I'm happy that you're allowing them to do these things at this age, because it never leaves them, right? And the volunteering, I did that as well, but not with the Red Cross. I did it as part of my church group growing up, where we would go into the communities and do these little things. But you learn so much, right? So if you put education on top of these skills, then you're putting yourself in a place where then your career is going to be bright, and your parents will be proud of you because there's nothing else to lose, right? Some of them are not always going to make money, so you have to make a decision in terms of, do I want to be really rich, or do I want to do something that has an impact on myself and my community and the world? And the social justice requires that engagement, right? You have to make a decision sometimes. Did you guys do anything like this in high school? Like, did you do the Red Cross or Explorer?
I had community service, but
Okay.
Yeah, same thing. Community service.
Yeah, but you're now involved with the community through the library.
Yeah, right? Yeah. I'm working right now at the Washington Heights branch with a program that's called Literacy Leaders. So technically, Literacy Leaders is not part of the New York Public Library, but they let us like stay there. I think we have like 6 or 4 branches that have the program. What's great about the program is that we use teenagers, so like 15, 16, 17, 18-year-olds, and we train them so that they can work with first and second graders to improve their literacy. Yeah.
So you see how literacy is also part of social justice, right? So to go back to Robert's point, if you have a community that has really bad schools or not good teachers or not good programs, and you have one school that has all of those things, do you see automatically the inequality that can happen in terms of communities? Right? So we think of literacy as the ability to read or to write, but it's more than that, right? It's also saying to the kid that you have the potential and you have the talent to do that, to have the support. So imagine kids who don't have parents like you who are saying, I want the best for you. Do you see how also that plays a role in terms of how successful you become or how serious you take your education? So all of these things are part of that. So we're going to stop the camera for now because I want us to do a little activity. Do you guys mind? Yeah. Okay, good. So I'm going to stop it.